We're joined this evening by Rohan Randhawa and Nauman Javaid, who are both employed full-time to deliver our Lord Taverners programmes. Nauman is our Wicketz Development Officer in Glasgow. They've been working with us since early 2019. Has already had a great impact in several areas of Glasgow, not only working for the young people and working for them, but also for the wider community in the Springburn, Pollokshields and Govan Hill areas of Glasgow. Rohan is our Disability Development Officer in Yorkshire and is responsible for the running of both our Super Ones and our table cricket programmes in the region. He's been pivotal to developing disability cricket across Yorkshire through setting up 8 Super One hubs, expanding the table cricket offer and building a pathway from our programmes, from our Lord Taverners disability programmes through to the disability county teams in Yorkshire. Welcome, Nauman and Rohan. Very, very warm welcome. So Nauman, first to yourself. Tell us about Wicketz. Tell us all about it.
Thank you so much for inviting me here today. Really, really honored and really grateful. So basically, Wicketz is a program that targets young people from the age of 18 to 19 in areas of deprivation. We use cricket as a tool for social inclusion, and we also provide them with life skill and awareness workshops on prevailing social issues in the society. We equip them with confidence so that they can make some positive choices in life. That's Wicketz in a nutshell.
Okay. So why Wicketz, and why would it be needed in Glasgow, or in your particular areas of Glasgow?
Being honest, there are literally no opportunities for the kids living in these areas of deprivation like Springburn, Govan Hill and Pollokshields. When I came in, I actually saw there were no space for kids to play, no places where kids can hang around with friends and mingle around with their friends. So the only places left were the streets. And definitely because they came from so deprived backgrounds, the cost was a barrier. They could hire halls where they can go play with their friends, mingle with their friends, yes, just let their energy out somewhere. So what they did was just running about in the streets, disturbing different shopkeepers. And so Wicketz has actually managed to change their lifestyles. We have provided them with avenues where they can come, they can all play, they can just release their energy, they can learn a skill that is cricket, and also learn few other things that are related to cricket, not only cricket but related to their life, which can help them out in their future. It also helps them in their careers. When I joined Wicketz and when I was assigned this task, so I saw that the parents, because most of the parents, they work at different hours, they were not able to discuss many things with their kids. They were just dropping them to school, picking them up. There was not much of a conversation between parents and their children. What I did was I spoke to the parents. You need to speak to your kids, so you need to know what they're doing. So now they've actually started to talk to kids that how was their cricket session. And the kids have started to respond. uh, that's why Wicket was needed in these areas. We had a problem of obesity, especially in parents. So I tried to educate them, the guys, you come here, you drop your kids, you go back home, or you're sitting in the car with a telephone at your ear. Why can't you just walk around the block, just have a 15-20 minute walk? So they listened. This idea actually was successful, and we managed to open a parents tea party club in Pollokshields, which is still a success. And it gave them more prospects of a future. They started to know that Wicketz is not only a community club or a community cricket session holder which comes here for 2 hours a week. It is actually there for the community.
So what I'm hearing is I can see over that 18-month period, you've engaged them through cricket and you've engaged the young people, and then you've started to engage a wider family and community into that area. And so Wicketz isn't about the participants and the young people, is it? It's much wider than that. And I know some of the work and the impact that you've been making. Please tell everybody some of those wider stories and the impact you've made, particularly during the incredibly challenging times that we've had socially and economically in the area. And please tell everybody some of those success stories.
Wickets is now what I see. Because I've been here for nearly 2 years and 2.5 or 3 months. What I have started to feel, I feel really proud when I wear this kit, Lord's Taverners Wicket. I've started to feel that this is part of my skin. I'll be very honest. So Wickets is known by the community. People have actually Wickets is a brand. If you come to Glasgow, if you talk to people, Wickets has become a brand. People know that Wickets is not only here for 2 hours a week. Wickets is there for the community to help out. So we have managed to engage about nearly 150 kids throughout the pandemic. We used Zoom calls, we used workshops, we used WhatsApp calls, and it has actually helped. With when we started our sessions, people used to come and see that we are this bunch of 23 kids just running about with a bat and a ball. What are they doing? So they used to stand and they used to watch us. And when we started to deliver life skill workshops, which is actually unheard of, people have not never heard of this thing, that at a cricket session a university student has come and talking about different careers. So people have started to uh, recognize the work that we have done, the services that we have provided, and which I see, which led to different businesses watching us, and they have donated some money to us as well. And the list of partners have just grown and grown and grown. If I sit here and watch the list, my God, it has increased from 5 to like 28. So this is what Wickets has done in the past 18 months.
And just before we move on to talk about with Rohan, so some quite lovely anecdotes of some of the stuff that you personally have done and how you have grown over those 18 months. And please share with you, and if it's not, otherwise I will. You've made a great impact on some parents who've been through some pretty challenging times in those last 12 months, particularly with COVID and furlough and people losing their jobs. So please tell everybody some of the things that you've been able to do.
Pete, ever since we were all young, we have heard a phrase that's necessity is the invention. Necessity is the mother of invention. So this pandemic has thrown us back to the dark ages. I mean, we couldn't meet people, but thank God we had technology. We could use WhatsApp, we could use Zoom, and with which I have managed to be in touch with nearly all the parents. I mean, I used to call each and every family, every minimum at least in a fortnight. So I had an idea that what kind of hardships they are going through. I've had parents who lost their jobs during this pandemic, and touch wood, thank God, we from Wickets we have managed to arrange employment for about five families, which I think was a great achievement. uh, there were small businesses like Strawberry Garden who gave us free food parcels. We from Wickets in Glasgow, we have managed to deliver 578 food parcels to 125 families. We have managed. I've got few laptops from Cricket Scotland, which will be given to the kids who have actually helped out during this pandemic. We have generated employment. We gave in rain jackets because we were playing outside in the winters. So there was a business by the name of ABS. They have given us free rain jackets and raincoats for the kids. We got free fruit because we promote healthy eating. We got free water from one of our partners. We have delivered 7 to 8 workshops which were on vitamin D deficiency, which were on type 2 diabetes, which were on climate change, renewable energy. So that's what we have done. I mean, that's what we have managed to do. We have even lined up few workshops with Police Scotland. We have lined up few workshops with the first aid with Red Cross. We have trained SLA students. When this happened, I was mind boggled. I said, "Oh my God, what I'm going to do?" But then we used this technology, and we were in constant contact. And I gave responsibilities to kids that they need to identify the deprived families in their areas, and they really worked. And I was the one. I used to drive like 5 hours a day, delivering food parcels to all the needy families during the holy month of Ramadan, and during the last year in June, July, August. We have delivered up to 120 food parcels to 125 families. That's what we have done here.
Well, now and from everybody, a huge thank you to you personally, to all of everything and everybody who's been impacting on that program. And I think everybody can now see this is not just a cricket program. This is a community program. It's the impact you've had on health and well-being and education and families and communities. So from myself as chair of charitable programs and from the Lord's Taverners, enormous thank you. I, like you, are very proud to be associated with the Lord's Taverners, and a phenomenal impact. And I hope that's had a small flavour of the work that Wicketz is doing in many areas around the country. So thank you, Nauman. I'll now move on to Rohan. Good evening, Rohan.
Hi there, are you okay?
I'm very, very well, thank you. And it's almost one of those like follow that.
Yeah, I know. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And I know from my role within cricket and within sport, the massive impact that the Taverners programs are having, and particularly within the disability cricket world. So for those that are a little less familiar, could you summarize a little bit about what Super Ones actually is?
Yeah, sure. Similar to the Wicketz project, it's a national program for ages 12 to 25, and the program started in London back in 2013 in the London boroughs. It's now in over 20 counties, and the basis of the program is that we create community hubs, and they bridge the gap sort of between schools and mainstream clubs, because what we find is that there is quite a bit of disability provision within the school, but when they leave the school, there isn't that many options, and particularly in cricket. So for some of our participants who don't feel comfortable to go straight to a mainstream club, the Super Ones is just a perfect little space for them to be themselves and to play with some of the participants who have similar disabilities to them also, which makes them feel a lot more comfortable and keep coming back, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's very much, and so from where I see it, it's very much about empowering those young people and empowering and it's a massive impact on it's not just in terms of cricket and a health and activity. It's much wider than that, isn't it?
Of course, and particularly now in COVID times, we were lucky a little bit like Nauman with the Wicketz that we got about 5 of our hubs online out of 8. And that was really crucial to some of our participants because there was a few really struggling with the mental health problems, with loneliness being, a major one as well, not being able to see their friends. And some of our participants with learning difficulties, it really, really hits them a lot harder than, any of their friends in sort of mainstream schools. And, even myself being sort of a young upbeat lad, it's been, at times pretty difficult for myself, and I'm sure everybody else on this call. So if you can imagine for a young disabled person who might not have too many friends, as it is, the Super One sort of online sessions that we've been able to put on has been really, really crucial to not just the kids, but also their parents and their families, for the young children to have that outlet, really.
So in terms of Super Ones, and I know and I've seen many times the huge impact that yourself and your colleagues are having. That it doesn't just include Super Ones; it's also including table cricket as well. And so, for a county like Yorkshire, a strong tradition of being a Lancastrian, we're quite rivaled. But in terms of Lancashire and Yorkshire, there's a great affinity between the disability programs. But how important is Super Ones and table cricket for a county on somewhere like Yorkshire?
It's just absolutely crucial. I can't stress how crucial it is. Before we actually had the Super Ones program and the table cricket come to our county, there weren't many sort of disability options for young people across the county, really. A lot of disability cricket was very ad hoc. It was not here or there. We didn't really have any particular structure. The Super Ones and the table cricket program has provided that structure. It's provided that sustainability that's needed for young disabled people across the county to be able to come and access a disability offer that they wouldn't be able to have otherwise. So without it, we wouldn't have been able to change as many lives as we have, and we won't be able to change as many lives as we're hoping to do in the future. And it's not just the young people who we're targeting. Part of our program, you're also changing their families' lives, their parents' lives, and everybody around them. And I know Nauman will vouch for this as well. once you have one of these young people engage in your programs, the wider impact that it has on, everybody around them is absolutely crazy. I mean, I get at least a couple of phone calls a week from parents sort of saying, this has been, without this, I don't know what we would have done. I really don't know what we would have done. He would have been sat in his room, locked away, not been talking to anybody. But, I'm so glad that we found the Lord's Taverners programs.
So, I mean, so your role is incredibly far-reaching. It's not just about cricket, and so how does the role work? So between just Lord's Taverners and the Yorkshire Cricket Board. So so how does that actually work, so people can understand that?
Yes, so I'm employed by the Yorkshire Cricket Board, but the role is funded solely by the Lord's Taverners. So I kind of wear two hats really. And I'm very privileged to wear two of those hats because I've got a fantastic team that I work with the Lord's Taverners who support me to, deliver the programmes in Yorkshire. And I work for a fantastic county like the Yorkshire, Yorkshire County Cricket Club, where, my office is at Headingley. So, it couldn't really be sort of a better mix, really, working for both two amazing organisations who's helped support disability sport around the county, really.
Yeah, and it doesn't end there in terms of your role. So you've signed up for the Three Peaks Challenge. You're doing even more than just delivering disability cricket in Yorkshire. How's the training and the preparation going for the big challenge?
Yeah, going well. I do love my walking, so it's quite enjoyable. My colleague from the Lord's Taverners, Heidi Coleman, who is in charge of running the Three Peaks event, she is looking for people to join us as well. I'm looking for people to join us. So, if you fancy challenging yourself to the Yorkshire Three Peaks at the back end of July, and also hearing about sort of the programs that we do in Yorkshire whilst you're walking 12 hours with myself, I might annoy you a little bit, but I'll try not to. Please go onto the Lord's Taverners website and have a look at taking on that challenge with us, because you're not just paying to do the Three Peaks. That money that you're paying towards going to Three Peaks is going to our programs and going towards changing the lives of those young people that I was referring to earlier.
Well, I'm going to join you. But so all those young people. So what does it actually mean to those young people who are part of Super One? So just give us a flavour, a case study, a role of something like that.
It means absolutely everything. I mean, I could give you 100 case studies for some of our participants because every story is unique. But a couple that I'll mention here. One, we've got one of our coaches at a couple of our hubs. He's called Louis Speet, and he is a wheelchair user who really, before he started coaching for our Super Ones program, didn't have any possibility of work. He tried so many places. He applied for hundreds of jobs who kept turning him down because of his disability. Nobody would give him that chance or that opportunity. And the Lord's Taverners Super Ones program is all about giving opportunities, not just to participants, but to coaches and other young people as well involved in the program. So he's now coaching on two of our hubs, and he's actually in a paid coaching role. Whereas before that would have been, way beyond his wildest dreams. I know he's built his experience up, and now he's looking to go up the coaching ladder and and progress himself even further. Another one I'd like to talk about as well is, I'm sure that some of the members will know and have seen Kean James's face on a few bits of Lord's Taverners marketing as well, and he's one of our participants in York. And before he came to us, he was very open, and his grandma was very open about speaking about his mum who had drug and alcohol problems, which created real major anger issues for Kean. And he didn't have an outlet really to get that out of his system, and he didn't have many friends in school. And he's come to our programs, and honestly, he's an absolute changed young man, really changed young man. He's come out of his shell, and he's taken again a bit of a leadership role at our sessions. I think he raised somewhere around £35,000 earlier in the summer for the Lord's Taverners Isolate program as well, with his story, which again is an amazing achievement. He got an award at the Lord's Taverners Awards at Lord's. I think it was a couple of years ago now. Again, so very, very proud of him. And again, like I said earlier, that every single participant on our program has got a story, and the Taverners program has affected their lives in a positive way. And anybody on the program will tell you that, and any parent involved with the program will tell you the same thing as well.